Brian, I think we've got to take a look at energy here. No question that the Biden administration cares about energy and green energy, but that's the future. It's going to take a long time to get there. Energy is the worst group last year or 3 years ago or 5 years ago. It's been a terrible spot to be, traditional oil and gas companies. It's the best performer so far this year. So it has been kind of darkest before the dawn. I think the day is coming.
Yeah, and that's the idea. And I understand the anger and frustration a lot of people have for fossil fuels. But I think to your point, if you look at just rational, reasonable, sort of non-emotional data, and we talk about population growth, and let's say, by the way, let's say the Biden administration opens up immigration, not just the dreamers that are already here, but new immigration. New immigrants aren't going to come here and buy Tesla Model S's, right? That's the reality. Electric cars right now are still expensive and out of the reach of many, many people. The demand for fossil fuels, while going to probably diminish over decades, isn't going to collapse in the next 15 years, is it?
Decades is the right way to think about this, Brian. You're right. Electric vehicles are 1% of the cars on the road right now. And so, the reality is we're going to be using gasoline and a lot of it here in the United States for a very long period of time. The rest of the world's the same story. Developing countries are more, oil and gas intensive. And so this is a process where we're going to need all things green and low carbon, but we're also going to need oil and gas. And so this energy transition, as it's been described, folks would love it to be here in a day or a week or a month. It's going to take decades, as you mentioned.
Yeah, and the investments that we make in wind and solar, we need all of that, and their price curves have come way down, but it's not like they're fossil fuel absolved either. I mean, you've got to dig up the lithium, and you've got to dig this stuff up and transport these huge turbines. It's going to be a slow roll. Very quickly, Dan, are there names? I know you guys aren't a trading firm, but are there names that you a Pioneer, maybe the original Fang, Diamondback, you think are investable here?
Absolutely. So stocks are cheap. They're discounting oil in the 40s. We think oil's going to be in the 50s or 60s. So you mentioned it. We love the Permian E&P producers, names like Diamondback Energy, Pioneer, Devon. Even Exxon today is a play on improving oil prices, and that stock's up, but I think still has more room to run. So, energy should be a part of a portfolio.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.